Why is that back? I got rid of this. Sources. Piss off. It wasn't sources. What's sources? Yeah, I need that. What is it? Multiple outputs? What is this called? Oh my god, I'm actually gonna kill somebody. It's not chat, it's not Twitch chat, it's not multiple output, it's probably not controls. It's not sources, it's not scenes, and it's not audio mixer, so how the hell did it come back? It's not sources, it's not scenes, it's not audio mixer, it's not scene transitions, it's not controls. They're all the things at the very, very bottom. So what the hell is that? It looks like multiple output to me. Multiple output is not. Multiple output is my... I need this. Start and stop. So I got rid of this before. Why is it back? And I locked the docs so they wouldn't change, but they still changed. Wonderful. I give up. I don't... Fuck you, OBS. Do whatever you want. You go to anywhere. Hello, welcome. What a great start to the fucking day. Right. Okay, we've got loads to do. I give up. I really do. I just give up. Still to do. Improve add-on icon management. Currently add-ons link project. Imported icons. Export defined series PNG. Blah, blah, blah. That is a very unsophisticated way of saying make it better. Okay, so today what I want to do is work on clothing interface because we're at the point now where I'm able to load clothing. And there's quite a lot of interface to consider, right? And I'm always going on about, this game has crap interface, I could do better myself. So it's time to put my money where my mouth is and demonstrate that. So the first feature that the clothing interface needs to allow is the loading of sets, right? So if we remember Infinity Nikki yesterday, the very first icon at the top was to load clothing sets. We have clothing sets too, which are these. So these need icons because these are just a collection of existing pieces. Also, why are these items empty? Oh, because these find themselves when I run it. I remember now, these find the items in the hierarchy themselves, or they did. I don't know if they still do. So I did change the hierarchy. Let's make sure they still work. Yeah, they do. They find their relative set pieces. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. The only other thing I need to think about is when I have a runtime version of this and I don't give a shit about sets, because maybe I'm just making one character with one outfit. Is this a problem? And the answer is no, because I can just delete it, right? It's not. It's like I can just have empty sets, so it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Or I could make a custom set that says, let's say I'm making a new character, right? Let's say it's, I don't know, Mandy McMuffins, right? We're making Mandy McMuffins for our own game. I could make a Mandy McMuffins set, and whatever her outfit is, I could put that under the Mandy McMuffins set. Or I could just call it like, default. And then later in the game, let's say we want Mandy McMuffins to be disguised. That was supposed to say, yeah, that's a say default. Let's say we wanted Mandy McMuffins to be disguised. We could make a new set for her that says disguise. And then we can change her clothes for that particular part of the game. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I've just got to think in like a million different directions at once. Because it's like, how many ways am I going to use this? How many ways does it need to work? And, trying to sort of think forward is what saves you a lot of time, I think, in the long run, I've learned. The more you can sort of flesh out a system and the way that you're going to use it, ahead of time, the more time you save as you're making it. Because if you make it without thinking about these things, you're just going to be changing things constantly. It's going to be like, oh my god, I've got to untangle all this because I need to add this and I need to shove this in the middle. And also I'm getting better at like the object orientation side of things, where like, okay, I know to make everything dynamic, everything expandable, you know what I mean? Because you never know when you need to slot something new in. All right, so we're looking pretty good. Hola, Tommy. Okay, so currently, the one improvement I want to make to this is, at the moment, what our system does on export, so when it's making the pack files, is it goes into Unicharacter and it goes into icons and it finds the icon from the serial number. I don't know if this is better or not. However, we also have icons. So this is the developer metadata. This is what's used for exporting mainly. The developer icons are also imported into UI icons, and we have copies of these icons imported into the project. Now, this kind of thing drives me crazy, because what we're doing, it's the first thing we learned about databases, and I agree, it's like something I instinctively knew anyway, I think, is never duplicate data. Never, 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 never. Because if you start duplicating data, then you're just creating more problems for yourself. What we're essentially saying is, oh, hey, I want to update this item of clothing here. Let's say we want to update the icon for... These are all defaults, right? Actually, these don't even have icons. Huh. Huh. Okay, this is a great example. Yeah, probably because yeah, that's why, because here's why, right? Because I wrote a script. I need to think about what's easier and what's more convenient. It might be better to have the icons dynamically from a folder, and we'll just rip them out of the project file, I think. And then as the system's loading them, whether it's loading them for developer or whether it's... Well, the thing is, when it loads it... So here's why this thing is a little bit complicated, right? So essentially we have two ways of loading clothes or hair, right? And the best way I can sort of explain how these both work is by splitting them into what I call developer and what I call runtime. So developer basically uses internal project assets referenced. So like these icons here, right? So all of the meshes, all of the materials, all of the textures, everything is all internally imported, like a normal Unity project, right? That's how most Unity projects are. But runtime, which is what this whole thing is about, is taking all of these things, exporting them out into individual files so that I can, like, sort of, you know, build your own burger kind of thing, right? We make our own characters. Because if we make a character with one item of clothing, we don't want to include 600 items of clothing into the assets for that game, because we might, you know, why do we need 599 redundant pieces of clothing? And it's probably going to be more than that by the time we're done. So the whole idea is to streamline things so that it can be used for any particular purpose. And then also, like, you know, like if we make an Infinity Nikki type dress up game, we can just add new clothing as we're going along, so rather than like have to update the game. We just basically add new clothing to the assets folder. So the other way of loading clothing is the runtime, which basically loads pack files as hair and clothing into the system. So when it comes to icons, the reason this is fragmented right now is because the icons are referenced so that they can be utilized in developer mode. But then the runtime loads the icons from the folder by name and packs them into the .pack file. So the icon's included in the .pack file. So when we're loading items from in runtime, the icon's there in the file. We don't even need this we don't need either of these. We don't need this and we don't need this because the icons are all packed into the files anyway. So the point of the only two uses we have for icons floating around like this is so that developer can load them, because developer isn't working with pack files, and so that runtime, well, developer can basically create the pack files with the icons in them so that runtime can load them. So yeah, like I said, this is really bad. Having two places for the icons makes no sense. So now I've got to make a decision. Do I want the icons in a folder like this, or do I want the icons referenced like this? There are pros and cons to both methods. I think I'm gonna use this folder, and the main reason why is I made a script. I'm sure I could make a similar script that does it this way, but I already made a script to basically update this folder, because what happens is I've been reorganizing my clothing system since I sort of cemented the structure of the clothing slots yesterday. I've been sort of reorganizing the clothing items to make sure that everything confines to these slots. And when you do that, the serial numbers of certain items change. I also managed to combine, I got rid of something called the sibling system. Now, what the sibling system was going to do is, because we have one item per slot, sometimes I would have a pair of socks, for example, that had two separate skinned mesh renderers. One was the left sock and one was the right sock. So as I was putting things into the system, I was like, oh, well, this is going to break the system, because the system is going to think you can only have one mesh per slot. But if both slots are sharing, if both meshes are sharing the same slot essentially and belong to each other, like a left sock, a left shoe, a right shoe, then I need a way to like clarify that. So initially what I did is I paired those meshes together by creating what was called siblings, saying that, oh, also you're allowed to load all these other things as part of this piece, right? But as I was fleshing things out last night, I looked into it to see if there was a way to combine those meshes to just make them singular meshes, because expanding that to include that level of functionality was going to be a pain in the ass, like a real pain in the ass. I could have done it, but it was going to be a pain in the ass. And so I thought, well, it would be better if I could just combine, because I have some shoes and some socks, right, that are one mesh per, pair of socks. You turn the pair of socks on, you turn the pair of socks off. I think Daz, it depends. Again, Daz has different artists working on these things. I think that's why there's no real consistency there. So what some artists are doing in Daz is they're separating the left and right sock and shoe or whatever for the model to give users the ability to just wear one sock or just wear one shoe, which is nice, but it kind of breaks this system that I'm building, right? And it means that I would have to code the ability to then have multiple items per slot, because you probably want to wear both socks or both shoes. So anyway, long story short, I managed to combine those meshes together what I'm getting at is because all the serial numbers have been constantly changing because I've been updating and making things, I made a script which basically goes and adds default icons, which is these ones, to any serial number that's currently missing an icon. Because if I try and make the pack files and it doesn't find the icon, the whole thing falls apart and we get an error because it's trying to find a file that doesn't exist. So I think I ditched this. Yeah, I think I ditched this. Okay, I'm gonna ditch this. So we might get errors. There's nothing else in here, is there? No. Okay, so let's see if we get errors in runtime mode. We shouldn't do because the icons are being loaded from pack files. Yeah, not a single error. And all of our icons are still there. That's because they're being loaded directly from the pack files. Okay, let's try it in developer mode. If we run it in developer mode, we might get errors. No, we get blank icons. Okay, so we need to fix this. So let's look at that. I think the reason why is, yeah, also we were having inconsistencies there as well, weren't we, about the icon references. Shut up. If developer metaroot transform.find metadata, we'll also say link icons. So let's make a link icons function for developer. Oh, burpee. So we want for each transform child in metadata root, metaroot. Jesus Christ. Child get component add-on meta icon equals. Oh, fuck, we need to load the PNG. I had a function for that. Well, we must have the function for that for non-developer mode because obviously clearly it's working, but I can't remember where that's happening. Oh, it's that one there, load image. Okay, so load image takes a string of a file name. So we want to say load image, and this is where it is good to have so we want to say load icons path combine icon folder and oh no, actually we could use child.name, which is the serial child.name plus .png. There we go. That should do it. So what will happen now is if we run in developer mode, it should iterate through all of its metadata and go and load all those icon files and link them into the icon field for the metadata. That way, that should get the icons working again. And now we only have them in one place. So let's make sure there are icons in here. There's something in there. And if we go to head, okay, it didn't quite load, it probably did it. What? I don't fully understand. Also, I don't need that. It's trying to load something, but they're not actually loading. It's not actually loading the icon textures properly. But that's the function I used in the other version. Oh no, it's not if I think about it. Oh, I don't know, well, maybe it was. No, I don't think it was. There's one way to find out, and that's to... Okay, let's rename this to load image renamed. And then save it. Because that way, we'll get errors everywhere in the project that is referencing that function. Because you can't find it. Maybe we're not using that function. We're not using that function. Okay, that explains why it's not working. It probably never worked. Yeah, because thinking about it, that's not how runtime works. Runtime strips the byte data from the pack file and returns it as an image. So this function doesn't work basically. I don't see anything wrong with the code though, that's the thing. Alright, let's ask Jipity. I don't see anything wrong with that. All my icons show blank, grey, but look like they link some kind of texture. What went wrong? Alright. Let's see what it says. Actually, I think Jipity wrote that function initially. Because I didn't think... So here's the thing, right? I didn't think you could load images by just... Like, I didn't think a texture 2D was just raw byte data. I thought you had to do something to encode it first. But then it gave me that function, and I remember saying, oh, it turns out you can just do that. But thinking about it, it looks like I never actually used that function anyway, so I never really got confirmation whether that worked or not. So this is interesting to me to see whether this actually does work. Okay, what is it saying? Your function is reading the file but never loading it into the texture 2D object. Doesn't it? You're right. It's funny how you can miss the obvious things. That is true. Okay, so you can just read the byte data for an image, and that is the image. For some reason, I thought you had to do something else to it, like construct it in some way. I don't know. Yeah, now you can see a very small icon there, right? So we know it's working. There we go. Okay, I'm really happy with that because now we've got consistency, and nothing makes me happier more than consistency. I love consistency. I want to get naked and roll around in a bath full of consistency. Oh, it's so sexy. All right, so just ignore me. It's consistently sexy. All right, so basically, basically we did that. That is now done. We can mark that off the list. We did it. Yay! Now it's onto the hellscape that is the clothing interface. Okay, so I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. No, I don't. Okay, I believe that what makes a good interface is understanding implicitly and fully and unequivocally and unabashedly and unforgivingly all of the functionality that that system needs to provide and the most intuitive way to deliver that functionality. That is basically, in a nutshell, what an interface is, right? It shouldn't be convoluted. It shouldn't be unintuitive. It shouldn't be clunky and difficult to use. It should be intuitive. It should be obvious. It should be streamlined, and it should look good. It should feel good. It should just make you want to spend an eternity with it, right? That is a good interface. And also consistency is good as well. So let's run our project, okay? Because I already have some interface, right? And I'm reasonably happy with this interface for now. I'm probably going to prettify it at some point because it's very basic right now. But the first step is to get the functionality down before you start making it look pretty, right? And the functionality seems fine. Now, ignore the fact that she pops out of a dress. Okay, we'll fix that. I actually don't know why. I actually don't know why she's doing that. I thought I had fixed that, but yeah, basically, oh my god, basically, you know, we can slide things and make things look the way we want. So these are our sliders, obviously, which are like for shaping, right? Shaping the body. Then we have color selectors like this. So we can change the skin tone, for example. And make her a green alien. Alien, watashi alien. So we have our color selector interface, which has a color picker attached to it. That button looks ugly. Why does that button look like that? I can barely read that word. Confirm. Confirm. Confirm that I need glasses when I feel like I need glasses when I look at that. That looks hideous. Why is that so bad? Look at that. That's hideous. What is going on there? Okay, let me just fix that real quick. Oh! I'll show you how to fix this. So basically what that is the entire control's been scaled up, but the text hasn't been enlarged. So what Unity does is it tries to zoom in on a low pixelated text. So what you need to do is you need to make the text much, much bigger. Take it outside of its bounds. Make it much, much bigger. And then just shrink it back down. And that will make it look all beautiful. You're so beautiful to me. Look at that. Isn't that so much better? And if you want to make sure it's centered, we can sort of do that. Look. All right, that looks so much better. That would have given me nightmares, that would have kept me awake at night. Okay, let me see that again. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? So much better. All right. So we have our color picker, we have our sliders, we have our hair selectors, right? So you can see I've already started making controls in a consistent kind of way. Now, the reason this is important is, again, it's consistency, right? When we make our clothing interface, the more of these controls that we can use, the better, because the less I have to remake controls, for one thing. Also, it gives a consistent user interface experience for another thing. Yeah, and everybody's happy, right? This is a problem. I think this is a problem. This seems really, really small, and it's all right, I guess. Does it look better when you get close? Oh, it looks much better when you get closer. Look. Yeah, that's fine, actually. Right, and then I have color selectors that include material targeters, I guess you could say, right? So for hair, we can pick a particular area of the hair, like the wisps, and say, oh, I want this one a different color. And the shorter bangs, I want this a different color. And shorter bangs too, I want this a different color. And she's looking fabulous, I gotta say. She looks absolutely fabulous. Wow. Look at that. Ignore that, ignore that. Alright. She had a rough night last night. It's not her fault, leave her alone. Right. So, and then I haven't coded these yet. But as you can also see that I wanted to have the ability to just randomize things, because I love randomization. I guess we could add random to the morphs as well. We could. I don't know if we should, but we could. Yeah, a lot of these random buttons don't actually work yet. I haven't actually wired these up, but you can sort of get a feel for what I'm going for, right? So if you just want a random hairstyle, you can just have a random hairstyle. You can have a random. Okay, the random color thing works, which is nice. So random color works. Sometimes you just can't decide, you know, and you just want. You want to leave it to RNG. So it's nice to have that ability. Because I might see something like, oh yeah, that looks alright, that I never would have thought to pick myself. Love it. Random lip color. Yeah, I'm liking this. This feels good to use. And use your interface, right? Use your fucking interface. But use your interface with purpose. Don't just use your interface by clicking all the buttons and not giving a shit about, you know, just making sure, oh yes, that does what it's supposed to do. I mean, use your interface for the purpose that it's meant for, right? So, in other words, this interface is meant to allow me to make a character, right? So use the interface to make a character. Because by doing that, you'll suddenly, and you just sometimes you'll get new ideas, and it's like, oh, okay. Now that I've made the eyes pink, right? This is a really bad example, but just work with me, right? An example might be, oh yeah, I like the pink eyes, but now that I've made the eyes pink, I kind of want to make her pupils bright orange or something, right? As an example, and then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, I never thought about that. Let's add that, right? So suddenly you might think of something that you wouldn't have thought of because you weren't really, you know, you never could have foreseen it. Sometimes you got to kind of use it to really know what's missing. Yeah, I'm liking this. Okay, so where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? And you can see that each body area is separated like this. Now the problem, this is another thing that bothers me. This creates a bit of a problem. Because originally I was considering adding clothing in with the shaping and the character customization. But you quickly realize that we don't have enough body areas for the clothing system, right? Because the clothing system has, we want to link hair, we want 3 layers of underwear, or 3 body areas of underwear, torso, abdomen, and feet. Then we go into outerwear. We have body, which is like dresses that covers torso and abdomen. Then we've got torso inner, like tops. Torso outer, like jackets. Hands, feet. Then when we get down to, I'm not even going to think about accessories yet. Accessories is going to be something different altogether. We're not even getting into accessories right now. Let's just concentrate on clothing. But yeah, you can see that, like, I can't really, you know what I mean? I could stuff. Could we even match these, I wonder? So now it's just about like thinking, what are the various ways I can do this, right? So let's take, here's what I'm going to do. Let's take our clothing categories, and I just want a list. All right, I just want a list. So just give me the list. So we're going to get rid of all the other shite. I mean, it's already a list, kind of, right? But the reason I'm putting it in a separate thing is because I just want to see, could we even marry these categories to specific things? Because there is something that we could do. So a torso exists already, right? So we'll consider that a win. Abdomen's already there, so we could consider that a win. Feet would have to be in limbs, right? So let's add limbs to feet to say that feet would have to go into limbs. Body is a win. We've got a body. Torso, we have a torso, so that would be a win and a win there. Abdomen we've got. Hands, again, would need to go on limbs. And feet would not need to go on limbs. So the only odd one out, it looks like, is limbs. Because another way that we could do this... Okay, so limbs is going to be our most complicated one, right? So the way limbs could be set up is we could start by showing shaping options, which is all the morphs, which is what's currently there, right? All the character customization stuff. And then we could go into clothing options. And in clothing options would then need underwear feet, outerwear hands, and outerwear feet. Does that make me happy as a user, as a player? There's one thing that bothers me about that, and that is the underwear part. Because I wouldn't be expecting socks. I think it's kind of unintuitive. Because you don't dress yourself like that, right? You don't dress yourself by body part, right? You don't say, okay, I'm going to wake up and first I'm going to dress my pee-pee. Then I'm going to dress one of my left foot. Then I'm going to dress my right foot. I don't think we think that way, right? So it's also about understanding how we how should this be categorized? I think it's more intuitive, the fact that we've already categorized clothing under underwear, outerwear, and accessories. And so if you split the underwear off into body parts, I think it kind of complicates things from like an intuition perspective. It's not the end of the world. It's only one category, so I could live with it. But it does bother me just a little bit, because I feel like it's more intuitive to say, okay, we're going to start with the underwear, and then we set the underwear up, and then we sort of move out. So we sort of start from the inside, and then we go out, out, out in terms of layers, right? Because that's how you dress yourself, obviously, in layers. You put your underwear. Nobody puts their jacket on first. I'm going to put my coat on, then I'm going to weave my t-shirt in through my coat and put my t-shirt on. Then I'm going to weave a bra in there and weave my bra through my t-shirt and put my bra on. Unless you're insane, maybe, or very skilled and talented. So, like, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about intuitive design, right? We intuitively dress ourselves from our underwear out, because we have to, really. So to have a clothing system that tries to obsess over which body part you're focused on, like, it makes sense for the current system, the shaping system, I think, because you sort of like, you know, it's like your plastic surgeon, right? The plastic surgeon's probably not saying, well, let's start with the inside, shall we? Let's, what is the inside? It's all outside anyway, right? No, he's probably going to say, so which area are we working on today then, Pamela Anderson? And she's obviously, boobs. She is obviously, my boobs. Or whatever she says, right? So that's why it makes sense for the shaping system, I think. But for the clothing system, it just doesn't quite sit right with me. Okay, so this was one way we could have gone. So we'll call this system A. If we don't like that, and I'm not completely in love with it, mainly because of this, like I say, I feel like underwear separate from other underwear is kind of a sin. And from a sin of intuition. So system B would just be to directly take the structure, I think, that we already set up. Just to take the structure in its raw and unadulterated form, where we say, okay, do you want to change your hair? Do you want to change your underwear? Because it smells bad. No, because, you know, that's where we start when we dress ourselves, and then we move on to outerwear, and we sort of go from the inside to the outside. I think I really do think I like system B better. I really, really do. Now, the downside of system B is it's going to be a lot more work because we have to build a new system from the ground up. Goodbye, system A. Goodbye. All right, we're going with this one. We are going with this one. But I needed to see it. You know, I needed to see it to understand it. Because obviously it is better if you can utilize what's already there. Also, I think things would get a bit cluttered. If we started stuffing clothing like controls in the middle of the character customization controls, I think it would get a bit cluttered as well. You don't want like UI where you're scrolling for like weeks before you get to the final thing. I think it's better to sort of paginate things and stick them on separate pages and screens and things. Okay, so we're making more work for ourselves by building system B. That's fine. So we know we've got a lot of things here. We've got a lot of categories that we need to create. So the next step, I think we need to replace all of this with the new clothing layer. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a new game object, and we're going to call this shaping. And we're going to grab everything except the color picker. We can still use the color picker for clothing, to be fair. So everything here is going to go in shaping. And then I can duplicate shaping and call it clothing. So all we have at the moment is we have an identical shaping controls, identical. We've got, just work with me, right? We've got the same thing duplicated just to start us off. But what we need to do is we need to grab one of these boutons. Let me have your bouton body for now. Again, we're not going to make anything look beautiful at this point. We're just getting the bare bones in here. And I think what we should probably do... Okay, now it's about figuring out how it should look. So we have a few options, right? So like the easiest, most laziest way to do it is just to have a button here that says shaping. Although if you think about it, right, we don't need a separate... This is another thing as well. Don't have more buttons than you need. We're going to need one or the other panel. So when you have two panels like this, right, maybe the first thing you think to do, like I just did, is to make a shaping button and a clothing button. But here's the thing. Does it make sense to click the shaping button when the shaping panel is already open? No, it doesn't. Why not? Because it's already open, right? Like, you don't need to open it if it's already open, and you're never going to close it. The only thing you could do when the shaping panel is open is switch it to clothing. So what you could do instead, which is less buttons, there's a couple of ways we could do this. It would make more sense for this button to be like a context button, meaning when the shaping panel is open, the button says clothing, and when the clothing panel is open, the button says shaping. So this button essentially just changes panels between the two. If you have more than two panels, it's probably better to use a drop down like this. Oh, don't drag that. Duplicate it first. Duplicate it first. Duplicate it first. And if we decide, because we might, I mean, I don't think we will. Oh yeah, we've got accessories. That's true. And we might not put clothing with accessories. And this is the thing, I don't know yet. Will we tack accessories onto clothing? Maybe not. Yeah, or another way that might be even better is to have a drop down. Drop down is probably a better design choice anyway, because it separates these from this visually, right? Everybody knows how to use a drop down. It's intuitive, right? Drop downs are like context shifting things, and essentially we are shifting context. We're saying, hey, what do you want this panel to be? So drop down might be the better option actually. So what we would do is we would say shaping, and we would have a clothing option, and we would have an accessories option, and we can hit play to see how that feels, right? I think that'll feel pretty intuitive. And then it's like, okay, I'm shaping the character. What else do we have? Oh, clothing and accessories. Oh, okay. And then you press clothing and we load the clothing panel, obviously. I think this makes more sense. This definitely makes more sense. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, so I'm going to call this drop down panels, and then this is going to load whatever panel is selected. Okay, so our category buttons are here. The next thing we need to do is figure out how many of these buttons do we want. Massive case of skill issue. Who's got skill issue? Who has the skill issue? Hair, torso, abdomen, feet, body, torso inner, torso outer, abdomen, hands and feet. Okay, the next best thing we can do is count these so we can figure out how to arrange them. My suspicion is that we'd be better off making 2 rows here and try and split them in 2 rows. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? We can have 5 and 5. I like it when things are even like that. It makes things so much easier. And would you look at that? We already have 5 from the shaping section. This is fabulous. So what we can do, and this worked out really nicely, is I'm just going to make these buttons a little bit... Does it not let me do that? Oh, it's probably controlled by a grid. It is. It is. So we can actually just reduce this number, make them a little bit skinnier. And you might think, wait, this is inconsistent. Didn't you say consistency is king? Yes. But I actually think slight inconsistencies in visual appearance can be a good thing. Because as someone who gets lost easily, if you've noticed, I will sort of like subconsciously or whatever remember that, all right, clothing has the skinny buttons and shaping has the fat buttons, because I'm that much of a toddler sometimes, right? And so we are being consistent because we have the same layout, the same types of controls. We have the same 5 buttons, but now we've got a second row, and also we made it skinnier. And like, just on like a caveman level, you have to basically ask yourself, if I was a caveman, would I be able to spot the difference between the clothing panel and the shaping panel? And if you just go, ugh, and look at it, and then you can say, yes, yes, ugh, then you know you've done a good job. If your caveman looks at it and goes, whoa, and has no idea what he can't tell the difference, then maybe you want to rethink that visual sort of indication thing that you're going for, and maybe try and make it look a bit different. You can use colors as well, right? You can make one panel one color and one panel another color. Really helps, really helps. I decided to go through my deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and decided to dismantle some extra cards I don't need, and I'm getting a bunch of crafting materials. I very briefly played that, and then I realized I sucked at it and it wasn't my kind of thing, so I didn't play anymore. All right, so on clothing, our buttons are different. So we're going to do 5 and 5. Okay. And also, you'll notice that we have... There are other ways we could lay this out, because I also kind of... I like the fact that underwear and outerwear is sort of separated in terms of logic. So if there's a visual way that we can, because we could have also done this so that there was like, see, this bothers me a little bit because we only have 3 underwear categories and we have whatever's left, 7 I guess, outerwear categories, because we could have had underwear on one row and outerwear on the other row, or we could have had another drop down that lets us switch between underwear and outerwear. But because we would have uneven categories from each, right? It's very, very outerwear heavy. I don't like the idea of doing it that way. Last time I played Yu-Gi-Oh! It was like 20 years ago. Has it been out that long? The game has massively changed since then, but I'm getting the hang of it. Good lord, I didn't realize it was that old, to be honest. I didn't even know Yu-Gi-Oh! I suppose it makes sense. I'm getting old now. Yeah, I suppose that does make sense. Time flies. Time frickin' flies. Okay, so I'm just going to start by just typing these buttons out. And then once we get them as buttons, it might start to make sense where we put them and how we sort of organize them. That typically tends to be what happens. So we know we're going to want 10 buttons in total. Now we can have 2 rows. don't worry about this bit because we can move things around. Always just worry about, like, and this is the other thing as well, right? Don't, so some people might get to this point and think, now it's too big because it's not the same size as the other one. No. Make this look as nice as you can and then like go down and fix the other stuff. Like, don't make this fit to that, whatever you do. Make that fit to this and get this bit looking good. So in mine, I actually want more, because I've got 5 Y spacing and 0 Y space. 5 X spacing and 0 Y spacing. So I'm going to try 4. We could do a little bit less. I think 3. I want a bit of a gap there. That's looking better. Yeah, and then this is not a problem. We can just reshape it like that. And if things need moving down, then we can move them down. It's fine. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. But I crafted a toxic deck and I'm becoming one of those guys. I wouldn't even know what the hell I'm looking at, to be honest. Yeah, there was another streamer who sort of talked me into giving it a try, and I sort of gave it a very brief try, but I had no idea what I was doing, really. And yeah, I'm not a big card game enjoyer, to be completely honest. Yeah, so I mean, I could watch this, but I'd have no idea what the hell I was even looking at, to be honest. Do you want your LP to be high or low? Everyone knows Exodia. Not me. I don't know Exodia. Let's top that up. There we go. Basically, if you get Exodia, you win the game. Alright. Yeah, I don't know that. Like I said, I literally played like one round, well, a couple of rounds of this. And this was like 2 years ago or something. And I decided it wasn't for me. So yeah, I know very little about it. Alright, so let's get these buttons named. So we want hair. Right, this one is torso underwear. And the first thing I'm not liking here is that I have no way of distinguishing what's underwear and what's outerwear. Like, it's not clear to me as a user when I first see this that there's a difference. When we have abdomen, right? Well, let's just flesh it out and you'll see what my issue is. And again, this comes back to intuitive design, right? Somebody should be able to look at your interface and instantly know what does what. And this is why this is going to be a problem. So these are all underwear. We know that as the developer, but we can't expect a player or a new user to know that. And you could say, well, they'll figure it out, but like, no. Bad developer, bad. Pull those pants down, bend over, and let me spank you for being so bad. That is not the way to do it. All right, we gotta make this. Like I say, a baby should be able to look at this and instantly know exactly what does what. That is when you know you've made a good design, a good UI design. And it just takes a little bit of more care and attention, but we can get there. We can get there. Right, so we've got. Let me see, where are we up to? I'm losing my place here. Feet, body. This one is body, and that's outerwear. But I don't know that we should call it body. Now, in a way, I think that might be what makes Infinity Nikki's system kind of good, is they haven't labeled things with text. Because some of these things are kind of hard to describe. Because outerwear, and that's the other thing you need to consider, right? Even if I labeled this as outerwear body, underwear body, like it's not necessarily clear what that is. Like, what the hell is an outerwear body, right? Now we know that because sometimes you have to categorize things. So the whole reason this category exists is because dresses cover both the torso and the abdomen, right? So we can't put them in the torso slot. We can't put them in the abdomen slot. We put them in their own new slot. And the best way to describe that slot was just body, because it could include something like a full bodysuit, right? But to say outerwear body to a player or a user, you just change your outerwear body gear. It's like, well, what does that mean, right? It's not that intuitive. Now, you might say, we'll just call it dresses. But again, right, it's not just going to include dresses necessarily. So I think this is how Infinity Nikki gets around it, is they don't use words, they use pictures. And that might be the way to go here, actually. I think that might be the way to go. Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically nowadays is you need to have a deck where you could continuously draw a deck until you gather all 5 Exodia pieces. Once you get all 5 Exodia card pieces, you automatically win the game. Well, it sounds like you're having fun. And win the game turn 1 without your opponent getting a turn. Yeah, I think images would be a better way to go here. Because it would solve a lot of the issues that I'm seeing, right? But let's just finish typing it out. And then we would have torso inner. And first of all, I would struggle to fit that in. Oh, it does actually fit in. And then I think torso outer. Abdomen for outerwear. Hands and feet. Okay, so I'm actually just going to hit play because I want to see what that looks like. Yeah, so instantly I want to vomit when I see this because this is offensive to me. It's like, okay, I'm a new user, I'm a new player, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? Hair kind of makes sense. It's like, okay, I could change the hair. I get that. But why are there 3 torsos? Why is there torso inner, torso out, torso outer? Now I know why, because I'm the developer, right? These represent clothing slots, and because there's underwear torso, which is bras, there's torso inner, which is t-shirts, and there's torso outer, which is jackets, essentially. That's why we have 3 torsos. But as a new player or user looking at this, that's not going to be obvious. And so you're going to look at that and you're going to be like, well, why the fuck are there 2 abdomens? Why are there 3 torsos? What the hell is torso inner, outer? And obviously, yeah, as they're using the system, it would start to click. But I still think we can do better. We can make this more intuitive. So this makes me want to vomit because it's a lot of reading. The text doesn't really make sense to a player. And I think Infinity Nikki nailed it by using images for these slots. Because if you start to describe them in words, it all falls apart pretty quickly, actually. And I got to admit, images do look prettier, right? Images look prettier. Okay, so this is fun now, right? I'll tell you why this is fun. Because now we can maximize this and just get our snippy clips up. One of my favorite tools in the universe. And we can just take a quick screenshot of this. And now we can start to develop icons for these to replace the text. And that's always fun. I'll just add general torso section and then separate it into different subsections. Yeah, the problem is that with that is I don't want to split the underwear off. This is why I didn't use system A. So yeah, earlier I was basically going through the different ways this could be organized on an interface level, and I explained why I wanted to do it this way per slot, because I don't want the underwear, like otherwise it doesn't make sense when you get to underwear feet. You're like, okay, why? So my justification is because we dress ourselves from the inside out. It's more intuitive for the dressing system to work that way. And I think that's how Infinity Nikki does it, and I think they're right to do it that way. Except Infinity Nikki doesn't have underwear, but they still dress from the inside out. So I think it makes sense. Yeah. I definitely think this is the best way to do it. Alright, so we want icons for hair. So now we can tick these off. So we want a hair icon. So let's see what we can do. Hair clip art. Now the thing to do when you're making icons as well is you want to set yourself a canvas size that you can sort of stick to. So it wants to be something sensible. So I think like 222 by 222 should be fine. What we could also do is we could make it, we know how many slots that we have. And we can then, once these are like shaped better, right? We can have more distance between them. We can group them into sections and label those sections as well, which I really like. We can actually label this as underwear, and then we can label the rest of it as outerwear. Or whatever, right? Right. So the problem with what I just did is that the icon, the image for the icon is square, but the buttons are very different from squares. Way too wide to be squares. So we want to try to match the icon shape with the button shape, especially if we're not having any text on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my grid unit and I'm just going to give it some more padding. We're going to section these off by width. They also need to be less wide. Yeah, I think that might work. So then I'm going to turn my grid layout script off. And I know that these are underwear. Also, these should be labeled as well. So we're going to have button hair. I'm going to do UW for underwear. Button underwear torso. Button underwear abdomen. I put US. American abdomen. UW, that's supposed to say. Button underwear feet. Okay, and these are the three that need to be different. So the first thing I could do is I could actually just make them a slightly different color. And wait, I did the wrong. Oh, actually hair. Well, yeah, no, it is these three, isn't it? Because button hair is something different as well. So I think, I don't know, just off the top of my head, pink for underwear because it's kind of intimate. And then hair could be like, I don't know, most hair's kind of brown, isn't it? A browny color. So I'm going to go for like an orangey color for now. We can change these later if we want. Right, so the first thing I can do is start to separate them color-wise. So the next thing we need to do, so as soon as we see the color map here now, we've got like a color map forming. Now I can start to see where things want to shift around, right? So I want hair needs to be separate from, let's keep going with these as well. Underwear, we did underwear. So we'll do out, OW for outerwear, I guess. Oh, also, I need to be careful here. I need to be careful here. I don't know if I included all the categories that I set up inside the system or not. Let me check. Now's the time to get this right. Yeah, we have more underwear categories. Now I don't know about this yet. But I created a body category for 2 reasons. First, I thought I might need it for clothing sets, because I have a lot of Daz underwear sets, right? Which are like, you know, they're like sexy little things that have lots and lots of things attached to them, right? Like a corset and garter belts and, you know, whatever, right? The whole shebang, stockings. And it's like, well, maybe I'll need that for that. But no, we have clothing sets for that, so we shouldn't need it for that. But then I also thought, yeah, but can't you get like full bodysuits? And maybe I have some of those, I'm not sure, in my assets. So I reserved it in case I needed it. But this is the other thing, I don't know whether I will need it or not. Oh shit, yeah, also sets. Sets do need their own interface and their own icon. We learned this from Infinity Nikki yesterday. Okay, so we're not done yet. So I guess body would just be sets. I don't think I'm going to need... And also I made a MISC for underwear. And MISC would be where I'd put all the like garter belts and, you know, various other little fancy things that they add to these underwear sets sometimes. Yeah, but each set... So underwear needs a set and outerwear needs a set. And underwear needs a miscellaneous. Okay. Let's stick the grid layout back on. So this would be underwear MISC. And we need an underwear set. Because we need a way to load sets, right? And I think sets... Right, so that will load a set. Zoom out. So now we've got set, torso, abdomen, feet, and that's going to be MISC. Shit, that should be feet. Still, that should be MISC. Okay, then we're on a body for outerwear. But first we need sets for outerwear. So above body for outerwear, that is attached to the wrong parent. Outerwear set. Set. Outerwear body. Torso inner. Button. Outerwear. Torso in. Outerwear. Torso out. Outerwear abdomen. Outerwear abdomen. Outerwear hands. Outerwear hands. Outerwear feet. Now we have an uneven number of buttons. But that might work out to our benefit because it might make it easier for us to group these now. So the first thing we want to do is size these so that they fit. Yeah, and then we can start to see already Set clearly wants to be with these, because then this is hair, and this is working out much better for me, because this is now hair and underwear, and then this is all outerwear. So the Set for outerwear wants to be on the row with outerwear because it just makes more sense intuitively, obviously. So what we can do what cell size? How do we get that other icon down? Okay, you know what we could do for now. Right, I don't know how we get that other icon down onto the next row without just quickly... Where's my underwear misc? I'm just going to quickly create a dummy button to shove it down there. So this is going to be a deletable, but delete me. I'm just putting that there to make space so that we can put that where we want it. So I'm going to turn the grid layout group off now. Now we can delete that button. Now we've got things closer to where we want them. This is looking great. This is looking much better. Because now it's making more sense intuitively as well. So I want to separate the underwear from the hair somewhat. And then I want all of this to be sort of centered to that, so that it's like a brick effect, because it looks better. And then we've got hair and underwear and outerwear all in one row. But I need to make sure that we have covered all of the outerwears. So let's see, underwear, we covered them all, and I think I can ditch body. I don't think I need that one. I don't think I need it. Okay, outerwear, body, which is like dresses, torso, inners, t-shirts, jackets, arms. Oh, I made an arms because I have things that are just sleeves. Oh, this is where things get awkward as fuck. I have a few items that are just sleeves. So we don't have an arms there. Hands, abdomen. We've got abdomen. They're just in a different order. Are these in logical order as well? The underwear's in logical order, I think. Torso, because we're going from top to bottom. Torso, abdomen, feet. That makes perfect sense. But what about the outerwear? Body, torso, torso, abdomen, hands and feet. Yeah, that seems fine. But then we've got arms and legs. Because we have leggings and sleeves. I don't want too many categories though. I'm almost tempted to stick the few sleeves and leggings into the accessories category. This is where things get really dicey. It's like, if I stick them on hands, I don't want to stick them on hands Because if I stick them on hands, then you can no longer wear gloves with sleeves. And some outfits have fucking gloves and sleeves. For some reason, they've separated the fucking things. And obviously, I don't want to stick them on torso, because that means if you're wearing sleeves, you can't wear a t-shirt, which you're probably going to need. So the only options I have are to either push them out to accessories, because this is looking nice, and I think if I start to cram more buttons for outerwear, it's going to get too convoluted. But then it becomes a problem of like, well, what do I do with sleeves and leggings? Because sleeves and leggings aren't hands, they're not abdomen, like they are specifically arms and legs. But I don't really want an arms and legs as a clothing slot, because it seems, again, convoluted. And then the interface is going to start to get crammed, and it's just... I think for the few... There won't be a lot of them. I think for the few pieces that qualify... See, it's weird, right? Because, like, one of these pieces says Lin gloves, right? And gloves you would expect to be hands. But if you look at the way these fucking gloves are, the reason I've put them on arms is because they don't actually cover the fucking hands. So it seemed wrong to put them on the hands, because they don't really cover the hands, right? But in that instance, I think I'd be happy to use the hand slot. Because if you're wearing those, oh yeah, sure, you can't wear gloves anymore. But would you really want to wear gloves with those anywhere? Probably not. But this is where it gets different, right? I suppose I could say the same thing about that, though. I think I stick these on hands and call it a day. I think I stick them on hands and call it a day. I know they don't really cover the hands, but like, I need to draw a line somewhere so that we don't have 6 billion fucking body part categories for clothing slots, because it's going to get unmanageable at a certain point. These leggings, again, I think I should... but these are super awkward, because I can't put them on abdomen, because then you can't wear fucking knickers. Well, I suppose you can, because knickers are a different layer, right? But you wouldn't be able to wear a skirt. Okay, skirts basically would be the outer layer. So basically it means if you wear these leggings, you can't wear a skirt, because they're taking up the fucking abdomen slot. So I can't stick them on abdomen. If I stick them on feet, then you can't wear shoes with them. You have to be barefoot. And that doesn't really make sense. Fucking leggings are a pain in the ass. But okay, so for leggings, I think I could just put them as accessories. I think for leggings, I just put them as accessories and call it a day. I could put them under miscellaneous accessories. Alright, I'm doing it. We're getting rid of legs. And we're getting rid of arms. And I'm putting arms on hands. I have to draw a line. There, I did it. I'm happy. Am I happy? I'm as happy as I can be. There's always going to be little things like that where things don't quite... They're not really this and they're not really that. And it's like this obscure fucking in the middle thing. But you have to kind of like make a call and pick a side. And stand your ground, stick to it, put your foot down. That's what we're doing. All right. So let's go back to our buttons. Yeah, okay, so then these buttons are fine then. And I think we're cementing our categories now, our slots. So we've got hairstyles, clothing sets, not underwear sets, outerwear sets, and then we can go specifically for each body part. And now if we just run it again and grab a screenshot, we'll get a better idea of what shape these icons need to be. Does it look a bit cramped, especially if we're going for images? I think it might do a little bit. Let's give it a little bit more spacing. We changed grid layout view, so we can't. Okay. Yeah, I still feel like it's a little bit cramped. I think that's better. Yeah, that looks a lot less cramped. It looks cramped now because we've got words that won't be there. But that's just so I know what's what. Alright, I think I'm happy with that. I think that's going to be fine. Alright, so now we have a different template to work with. So I'm just going to grab that image, stuff it into Photoshop so we can isolate a button. Isolated. He's so isolated. He doesn't go outside. Oh shit, it's a song about me. He doesn't go outside. Because outside is full of demons and creatures of the night. He'd rather make a clothing system and think that life's alright. Alright, so we've got something close to this. Not exactly, but yeah, kind of. For our icons. Okay, what sort of icon do we want to represent the hair? That one's hilarious. It's hilarious. I kind of like this, but it's a dude's hair. But I do kind of like this kind of side profile, like something you'd expect to see in a salon. You know, you would expect it in a salon as a decorative piece. That's quite a good icon for hair, but it doesn't fit our. It's like the opposite shape of our what we've actually got to work with. This could be problem. This could be problem. That one's fucking awesome. Look at that. What a great icon. Alright, you know what? We'll make it work. Alright, let's see if we can download the actual Pung. Shut up. I'm not fucking... You know, I'll just nick it. You think I can't nick that? Are you crazy? Do you see how easy this is to steal? You fool! You can't stop me! You can't stop me! I am unstoppable! I did take my meds today, don't worry. Alright, how are we looking? We looking good? I think that looks good, right? We got it all. I think we got it all. We got it all. It's all so wonderful. We got it all. Don't you worry. Yeah, see, we can just kind of crop it like that. Oh, wow. I like that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It looks so exquisite. Exquisitely beautiful. You know what I think I want, though, for this one? I think I actually want mine to face the other way. And there's a reason for it, right? It's a design choice. Let me explain something called looking space. I learned this in media studies, and I swear to God, it makes such a difference. Okay, so there's a reason why I just did everything that I did. So basically, here's why I did this. So this image is going to go here, and we are on the far left. So if you have to pick a side, right, because this is a side profile, you have two options, right? You can either make your person look away from the thing that you're working on, or you can make it look towards the thing that you're working on. And it's always better, so we can either have her looking this way, which I guess you could say she's looking at the character model, but that's not what she belongs to, right? She belongs to this. And she's on the far left of it, right? So it's just better. We learned this in media, right? You basically want her looking in towards the thing. So if you stick something at the right side of the screen and they're looking right, it looks like you're cutting off what's called looking space. Like, we expect to see more space that the subject is looking towards and less space behind them, because that would be their perspective as well, right? That's also why I positioned her to the left of this thing and not in the middle and not to the right, because it gives her more looking space. She doesn't want looking space here, she wants looking space here. And so we face her this way, she's got looking space into the interface, and on the button itself she's also got looking space in the button itself, and it just feels nice. I don't know, people like it. It seems to be. And if you study film and TV like we had to, you'll notice that, like, you know, cinematographers and photographers will use this technique all the time. And if you break those rules, like, there's something kind of jarring about it. You kind of feel a bit like put off by it. It's like, something's not right here. I don't know what it is. I do. It's looking space. That's what it is. All right. Anyway, lecture over. I just thought it was fascinating. I think it's kind of fascinating. All right. So we have Unity projects icons. Oh, not that one. Oh no, not that one. Assets UI. Yeah, we can start to organize these later, I guess. So these will be our clothing buttons, right? So let's do UI CL for clothing, and this is hair. Ah, fuck it. We'll just do icon hair. Icon hair. Blip. Okay, so now we can go into our hair. We can get rid of the text component. Add. Well, it's already got an image component, so we should be able to... That's a sprite though, isn't it? Sprite. Sprite. I don't like sprites. I don't like sprites. That didn't even work. What the fuck? I thought that turned into a sprite. You fucking prick. Do I need a sprite package to turn it into a sprite? Oh, just piss off, button. Piss off. Let me show you how to do it. That's right. That's the color of the button. So we'll leave that in. I'm just going to add a raw image component and then we can make it the way we want. And then it's fine. So let me put that back to default. Look at that. Made for it. Made for it was. Look at that. Does that not look fucking awesome, or does that not look awesome? Now, it's not as good as Infinity Nickies, I'll be honest. That's pretty good, though. Oh, I left a bit of white in there. Fuck. You bastard! Oh, you fucking bastard. I tested it, yeah, it's just there, look. That's going to be really hard to remove because it's all aliased to fuck now. So we're going to have to start again to select that bit there. Take it out there of the big one. There we go. We know we're flipping this one off. We're flipping it. Flippity flopping it. Then we can just get the second layer and we can, because we like the shape and size, right? We can just make it fit the old one. Because I like everything, like the framing and everything. Yeah, that's about what we had before. And we just save it over the top. What I like to do here is if I go to details, most recent first, then I know it's always the top icon that I'm working on. It makes it easy to find. Alright, that should get rid of the little white bit that we had. Yeah, look at it now. Looks much better. Alright, so that is hair. So we want underwear sets. Oh, 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 my. Don't ban me, Twitter. Oh, I say. Now, another thing to bear in mind is we've kind of made a stylistic choice here, not on purpose because we're stealing. I mean, we were inspired by other art on the internet, right? So in that inspiration, we seem to have chosen a completely black kind of, you know, stylistic image. So if I was to put some bright and colorful, you know, number on here like this, let's say, in the icon next to it, it would look kind of jarring because it's like, well, that looks significantly different to the other icon. It's not the end of the world, but if you can match the style that you kind of, you know, all the way through, then it will look a lot better. So, with that in mind, we kind of want to go for something that's just got a black outline. Like, this is pretty good. And what we could do, okay, I think what we could do is this. If we look at this one pretty much has everything we need. Oh, everything a young boy could ever need is right here. Oh, well, if you stick a woman in it, yeah. So we've got our bras for our torso. We've got our panties for our abdomen. We've got our corset for our torso. So we can use each one of these for each thing. And then for the set, I guess we just try and like mash something together. And then we have same style, same, you know. So I'm going to grab this. And for this, I'm making the set icon now. What was that layer there? I don't even know what that layer was. I'm just gonna get rid of these. What was that? Add the word set. That was my original icon. Alright, we'll just get rid of these for now. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is wipe out the background. Okay, I might need to use a fucking trick here. There's so many white bits and so many black bits that I gotta remember how to do this now. Alright, I'm gonna get Jibity to talk me through it, because I can never remember how to frickin' do this. Okay, I have an image in Photoshop, black and white. I wanna remove all the white to have transparent background with black details. Can you talk me through the steps? Make sure a layers panel is visible. Yes, it is. Double click the background layer to unlock it if it's locked. In the layers panel, double click the layer to open the layer style window. Find blend if section is at the bottom. Blend. Right, we want to get rid of the background is what we want. Let me read that again. In the layers panel, double click the layer to open the layer style window. Oh, fuck. Here we go. Blend. Oh yeah, blending options. I've never done it this way before. Okay. Under this layer, move the white slider to the left. Hold Alt and drag one half of the slider to create a smoother transition. What the fuck? I didn't know you could do it like this. No fucking way. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know this was a thing. That is freaking awesome. Holy shit. I've been doing it a long ass convoluted way before. Holy shit, that saves you so much time. Oh, that was easy. Oh, I remember that. I've done it with all these weird fucking, like, you remove a color and you fucking copy this color and it's like, oh my god, it's a fucking pain in the ass. That was super easy, actually. Oh my god, wonderful. Okay, so now I guess we need to... I think I need to lasso... I need to lasso myself a bra. That is a sentence I didn't expect I'd be saying today. Although really I probably should have expected it. And I'm going to lasso those panties. It's getting rather raunchy in here, I gotta say. I'm gonna say Miku's line right now. Is it getting hot in here or is it just me? Alright, no, that's close to what I want, but why did it make a... Well, we know how to fix that now, right? It made like a white background, I'm not sure why. So we go to blending options, then we just move this. No fucking way, that's so cool. Alright, and then I guess we want to bring these together. Come together! Oh, we'll be coming together right now. Over pennies. What the fuck am I singing? Right, okay, put that there. This makes a kind of... It almost looks like a face, doesn't it? I am the evil underwear king. I'm the evil underwear demon. You will never defeat me. Don't ask. Okay, just... It's been a long week. Alright, so that looks good to me. We don't need that one. There's our... Alright, student. It's alright, we know how to fix it. We know how to fix it. Calm down. Calm down. I do wonder why it's doing that, though. Why is it... I don't quite know why it's doing that. And then we just kind of got to line it up wherever we want, I guess. I almost wonder if this would be better. Would it look weird on its side? What the fuck? I was holding. It's not control I want to hold. It's shift I want to hold. That definitely looks like some kind of evil face. I think that might work. What I'm liking as well is if I keep this thing going where everything's like kind of clamped to the left, then it gives me space. So I could put like a small description of what it is like to the right, I guess, because I do feel like most images are going to be sort of like squarish, so we're going to end up with a lot of space on the right. So I'm going to do underset for underwear set. I'm going to duplicate the icon, give it to underwear set, copy its position, and paste its position. There we go. And get rid of that text. Actually, I shouldn't have gotten... Well, we didn't get rid of the other text, actually. We just... Yeah, I might want to put a brief description as well. I don't know yet. Let's turn it off for now. And this time we want icon underset. I don't know if that makes it. It almost looks like a ice cream. That almost looks like an ice cream. That one's great, but that one I'm not so sure about. Yeah, that one's not sitting right with me. Let me try a different approach. I almost feel like... I feel like dancing, dancing. No, I don't feel like dancing. I feel like... Can we just fucking crop that out and be done with it? Please? 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 Right. I almost feel like just grabbing this whole thing as one singular image. Like, does it necessarily need to represent one individual set? Probably not. So what if we just have a bunch of easily identifiable category type pieces? Do you know what I mean? So then, because then it almost acts as... I have a reason for it. Like, then it also almost acts as like a category identifier as well. Do you know what I mean? To kind of say, oh, hey, this is where the underwear starts. Do you know what I mean? That kind of makes sense to me. seems good. I think. It's easier to see what it is at least. Alright, let's try that. Does that look better? That looks much better. That looks much better. Still a little tricky to tell what it is, but to be fair, the same could be said for Infinity Nikki, right? I can't really tell what those icon images are supposed to be initially, but you know, as I click them and as I start to play the game, I start to connect things in my brain. I'm like, oh, okay, that's this, that's this. Right, so torso is just zebra. Zebra. Which bra did we have in the other one? It's hard to tell because it's so small. It must have been that one because I think that's them. Yeah, that's those Nickies. Nickies. Knickers. This is funny because of Infinity Nikki, isn't it? Infinity Knickers. Maybe that's what I should call my dress-up game, Infinity Knickers. Please do not call it that. God damn. Right. Infinity Knickers. Good lord. Good lord. Infinity Knickers. That's kind of funny, actually. Infinity Knickers. The underwear dress-up game. Alright. And we could rotate this however we want. Things are always also things look a lot more interesting. If things are always dead square, they look kind of boring, right? Things always look a little bit more interesting at an angle, at a slight angle. I don't know. I think maybe that. Shit, wrong slider. It's the wrong trousers, Gromit, and they've gone wrong. Now, because we're so zoomed out, these dots and stuff, they just look like bad artifacts. Maybe the heart's okay if it looks like a heart. Those other dots kind of just look like mistakes. You're a mistake, boy. Right, and then we got under... I should have put UW again, shouldn't I? It's fine. Under torso. I hope I don't regret this black and white stylistic choice thing. Because I don't know. I don't know. With buttons this small, it can be a bit hard to really see what things are. But again, I'm probably overthinking it. It's like it doesn't really matter as much as I maybe think it does. Because there's so many, like, this is decent-ish UI design because, like, we've got colors separating different types of clothing. So like a player spends like 5 minutes in this and they, you know, immediately start to realize, okay, the pink buttons are underwear, the white buttons, or if we make that a different color, are outerwear, and the fucking orange is hair. This one's brilliant because it's super clear what it is. I think this is starting to make sense. I think once we line them all up, you can kind of see, oh wow, that looks like underwear to me. Do you know what I mean? One button on its own. And that's another weird thing, right? Like one button on its own, this on its own in a vacuum might be confusing because it's like, what the fuck is that? But then when you start to zoom in on the individual items and you see them next to each other, you can start to sort of, oh, right, I see what that is. You see what I mean? Like you can connect the dots. So I think this will become clearer and clearer as we go on. So abdomen is the panties. Oh ho ho. A puntilicious. A puntilicious, my darling. What is wrong with me? It's like I'm suddenly fucking 12 again, isn't it? Oh, puntilicious. Alright. I think you need to see, like, where that ends. Otherwise, if you don't know, if it looks like it go on forever, it's not clear what it is. But as soon as you see the bottom, you're like, oh yeah, I know what that is. So maybe that, I think. Oh shit, I'm doing it. Why do I always... I learned the right button, and then I forget in a matter of, like, seconds. It's quite impressive how bad my memory is. Okay, so this is under abdomen. I might just put ab. Well, they call them abs, don't they? Under abs. Yeah, fuck it. Let's call it under abs. I don't like long convoluted names, but then also it's good to describe these things so you don't get confused about what the hell these things are supposed to be. I don't know if that should be zoomed out a little bit more. I don't know, that seems just a little bit. I don't know. I think it's unclear what it is. Anyway, what am I can just resize this one, can't I? Yeah, I just think like zooming out just a little bit. Make that clearer what it is. Maybe not that much. There we go. Just that much. So you can see all around the outside. Go around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. I don't know where we should line it up. Maybe over here. It depends because I still haven't decided whether I'm putting text on the right or not. But I may well want to do that. Okay, I think that's fine. I think that looks better. It's not about looking good, it's about like... It's about telegraphing. It's about telegraphing what it is. That's what it is. It's about telegraphing rather than making it look as good as it can. But it's also, you know, should be trying to look decent. Feet, this would be socks and... which I don't think we have in this set, do we? Stockings and various things. Oh shit, was one of those body? Oh fuck, do I have a body? Yeah, because of course... Oh yeah, I never even thought about that. Oh fuck, have we got... Well, I suppose we've got room for one more anyway. Yes, I suppose underwear does need a body because, yeah, you might get a piece like... I never even thought about that. Like, this piece here would be a body piece, right? Because we're covering both the torso and the abdomen at once. You can't wear panties with that. You can't wear a bra with that, really, because that it's like kind of both in one. So I was wrong. We do need body. We do need body. That might be better, actually, because I think it would even this out a bit. I was wrong, my dear, to take your underwear body off you. You need it for your negligee. Alright, so I was neglectful of your negligee. Is that right? Body... Underwear, it's got a clothing slot script on it. Oh yeah, this would also affect torso and abdomen, meaning what this is for is we iterate through each clothing slot when an item of clothing is applied, and we check to see what other slots are affected, meaning if we wear a body piece, it will remove any items that are currently on the torso and the abdomen to make room for it. And so we have the same thing set up on body outerwear as well for dresses. Otherwise, things will fall apart because she'll still be wearing t-shirts and fucking skirts with dresses, and it's just, yeah, a whole mess. So that's what that's for. If you were wondering, if you even care. Okay, so so we need, we've got outerwear body. So it needs to be after set and before torso, I think. So this would be underwear body. Underwear body. Now the problem is everything is in the wrong place. There we go. Now it all lines up beautifully. Beautifully. Now, do we want to create some space between these categorizations? I think color coding it is enough. Honestly. Now that it squares up. I think it looks better now that it squares up, actually. You're just too good to be true. Also, I'm not so sure. Actually, this background color does change when you run it. So at the moment it looks, my issue with it is that this is too close to this color. And it kind of like blends in too much. But actually that's not as much of a problem as it looks right now, because when we press run, my background actually changes color. It cycles through the hues. Also, we get a black background as well, which separates it anywhere. But yeah, this actually changes hue if you watch it long enough. So it's not always gonna blend in with that. I do think it's maybe a little too subtle though, especially compared to the hair. So I am just gonna go on quickly, grab all of the underwear buttons and make it just a little bit more. Oh, the purple's kind of... And white's kind of boring for outerwear as well, isn't it? Let's go with that for now. I'm not sure about the green. Hideous. No, it's fine for now. I haven't decided on colors yet. There is actually a thing you can do. Let me see if I can find this. So Adobe Color Wheel is a tool that shows you which colors complement each other. Or you can have contrasting colors. So there's analogous, monochromatic, triad. So we've kind of got this one and one that's kind of close to this one, right? So we wanted a green. So these three kind of go well together. I actually prefer this one. So what we could do is grab that one, because there's like a science to color. I don't like it. It looks weird. Too dark. Too dark. What about this one? Are we sure about that, Adobe? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. Complementary. Split complementary. So there must be a way to give this one of my current colors though, right? Compound shades. How do I give it one of my colors? Obviously I can cycle around, I think. I can cycle around, but what if I want to give it? Can I not give it one of my colors? That seems kind of weird. It says change color. Yeah, okay. See, I liked my color. I like this kind of color for the underwear. And then if I see what works with this, change color, I can put that in. Right, and then it shows me what would be acceptable to use with this color according to color science. They're all a bit. So I guess maybe that one for outerwear, but it's a bit, it just seems dark to me. You know what I could do though, is I could invert it, right? So I could make the icons white for the outerwear, which would like kind of mix things up even more, right? And then we don't have like an orange for the hair, but we've got like a pink for the hair. Maybe this one. So according to color science, this is what I should be going for. It does look okay, I guess. But I think I would want to make the icons white for the outerwear if that was the case, because I think it's a bit dark for like black on top. So I might do that. Yeah, let's go with that. Color science, bitch. I sound like Jesse Pinkman. But because this one, I don't know about this one. Let's see what this one looks like. Because again, it's got a black icon, right? And I feel like I think I'll prefer that one. I don't know. Does that really look better? Eh, we'll see. We'll see. We'll let it grow on me. Right, so this would be the body piece. This would be the body piece. This would be the body piece. We need a body icon. We need a body icon. Yep. We could just do that so it fits better. Shift it up a little bit. It feels like it doesn't take enough of the space up though, do you know what I mean? It feels like it's kind of lacking. I could have a second piece over here, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see what it looks like in the UI. All our icons are wrong now. Fuck. Okay. So we put the body icon on the body. But the body icon is Oh yeah, it would be after set, wouldn't it? No, that makes sense. They're not in the wrong place. I was wrong. You were right. Is it clear what that is? Not really. Is there anything I can do about it? I mean, the only thing I can really do about it is make it bigger. Let's see what it looks like by like laying it more on its side, you know. I don't know if it would look okay though. Like that kind of thing. That might work. That might look better. God damn, these icons are driving me nuts. All I can see is like a deformed star. To me, this is what my brain sees, especially when it's zoomed out like that. Where's my paint? All it looks like to me is that somebody was drawing that star thing from SpongeBob SquarePants, and they like really fucked up the left side of it. All I see is like a deformed star. Oh, they actually made it. They didn't make it like that. And so it doesn't look anything like what it's supposed to be to me. Like when I first glance at it, I have to like really study it for it to even start to look like what it's supposed to be. How do I clear this? Alright, you get it. I don't need to fucking redraw it. But that's all I see is this star shape. And then, yeah, I know there's like shit going on here. But my brain doesn't connect this to this. It just seems like something completely separate. These are good, because these are kind of clear what they are. And then your brain can maybe kind of figure it out from these, but I'd still prefer if this was a bit more identifiable. What might help, another thing we can do is we could add... Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Why? Why are you doing this to me? What the fuck? It must have some, like, weird-ass... What the fuck? It's still got the white on it, hasn't it? Yeah, okay, I see what's happening. So where I lassoed it, it's still white. But that filter thing just kind of, like, creates an illusion, I guess. That you can save the illusion. Alright. So alright, thanks. So basically what we'd need to do is, oh my god, give me a second. God damn it. What I would need to do to give that a bit more thickness, I think that's the issue, is we don't have enough thickness on it, is we need to copy it and paste it in its edited form as a new rasterized piece. Even then, it actually puts the white back in it. So I think we'd have to save it, reopen it, to then get access to the transparent layers. Which is a bit of a bitch. But it is what it is, I guess. Right, just give me a second. Let me go. Right. So we can't copy and paste it. We'd have to reopen it. That looks even weirder. Nah, that hasn't solved the problem at all, has it? I don't know. I think it's as good as it gets. Why is that cut off? Right, it sorted itself out. What was this one? Was this one socks or whatever? Yeah, that one's supposed to be... Yeah, I don't actually have an image for that. I guess I could go with something like that. I was going to say, we want something more girly, I think. It's like I found two that are a little bit more girly, but they have like club foot fucking shape to them. But like ladies' feet, typically, I think if you're trying to represent a lady's foot, you see how like these ones up here have more, like this, a more sort of slender look to them. I think this is the shape we want, so it looks more feminine, rather than a fucking club foot. But like with a bit of girly decorative stuff going on. So like there was two, but they both had club feet. Like that one, right, with the love hearts on it is kind of girly, but it's fucking club foot time, right? Oh, here we go. What's this? This one's this one might have something. I like this, but I'm worried that when it's zoomed out on our icon, it's going to be so difficult to identify. So I think I'll probably go with this one, actually. Give us money! Money! 3,000 by 200, 2,400. £1.73. Well, I suppose it's better than like 100 quid. Like some of these things try to charge. You do realize that I could easily just steal that. Like, it's a fucking, it's like a black outline. That's all I want. Like, why would I give you money for that? And I could just get AI to make something if I really wanted to. I don't know. Maybe, you know, there's one good thing about AI art. This undeniable, we'll finally get rid of these fucking... Where did that go? What is happening? What am I looking at? I don't know where that went. We'll finally get rid of these, It is in my clipboard then, isn't it? These scavenger websites that try to charge like $400 for an image of a foot. Give us $400 for this foot shape. Why is this not pasting? I'm so confused. What am I missing? I have it selected. Let me just, okay, let me try and copy. Merged, maybe. Yeah, when I paste it, oh, have they found, oh no, it's there. I just couldn't see it. I didn't think it was that big. I know it said it was like 3,000 pixels, but I didn't think that image we were looking at was 3,000 pixels. I thought that was like a thumbnail version, you know. But no, it actually was 3,000 pixels. Now I'm wondering, I know that feet don't have looking space because they don't have eyes. But I do wonder if it would look better with the feet facing in. Rather than the feet facing out. I'll save this first and see what we think. Did I call it foot or feet? Feet. I'll call it feet then. Consistency is king. Okay. Give me the icon. Give it the icon position. Yeah, that looks good actually. It's dead easy to see what it is. And then miscellaneous is going to be a tricky one to get an image for because it's all like, I assume it's going to be things like garter belts and I don't know, chokers and like all the stuff, basically all the items that come in a set that don't categorize in any of these four. So it's going to be a hodgepodge of all kinds of shite. How do you represent that as an image though? I mean, that could work. Something like that. A snake. Wear your snake today, young lady. It looks fabulous on you. Fucking Britney Spears. Didn't she do that? I don't know if it was Britney. It was someone like that. Like, I kind of get what they're going for, but it kind of looks like a Japanese, one of those Japanese torii gates, or like some kind of well with two buckets or something. It's like kind of hard to tell what it is meant to be. Yeah, I think I'll go with that first one actually. That garter belt thing kind of makes sense. I think this one's good. Photoshop. Let's close all this shite. We're done with that. We're done with that. We're done with that. I don't think that's actually black. I think it's like a slightly off black. Yeah, I could tell. There we go, now it's black. Consistency is king. I love you, baby. Almost looks like some kind of Christmas decorative thing. I think that's fine. So this would be underwear misc. Why do I keep clicking, missing that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's looking pretty good. And if I want to, I've kind of got a little bit of space on most of these to put a little bit of text if I really wanted to, although it would be very small. I don't think I'm going to. I think what's also good with this kind of system as well, because if you think about it, these buttons are basically like, they're almost like tabs, right? So can I think of something, you know, when you're in an application, does Photoshop have them? Yeah, like this, right? These tabs. So each image is, if I make a new one, we get a new tab. Essentially, these are like changing things. So with tabs, you always want to have a way to like highlight which tab is currently active. I thought I did that. Did I do that actually? Well, I haven't got this. Blah. Let me just hang on. Maybe I just thought about doing it. I thought I did do that on this one where it like, yeah, I did. Look, I put a blue. Yeah. And then you can see, oh yeah, I'm in torso right now. Oh, I'm in limbs. I'm in head. Yeah, so we'll do something similar to that as well on the clothing system. And again, right, consistency is king, right? If you've been using the first system and you've gotten used to how it works, and then the second system behaves differently, well, that sucks. So we want to make it behave the same way. All right, so we are finally... Yeah, I don't think I need the text objects, and if I do, I'll just add them again. I can get rid of these text components, I think. There we go. And then we can close those off. And now we're on to outerwear, which we want white icons for. So an outerwear clothing set. So I guess... outfit. I could make this white. But we also have one that's like specifically dresses, right? Which is the body slot. So I don't want to use an image that would be perfect to use as a dress. If there's a better one that kind of represents an overall outfit, if that makes sense. That would work for a dress. The fuck is that? Oh, prom. Oh yeah, I see. I understand now. This could work, like something like this could work though. So like if we think about the clothing set for underwear was like a bunch of items together. So again, consistency is king, right? So if we can get something like this that represents outerwear better, the closest thing I can find is this, but a lot of this is like guys' clothing. Let me just open that anywhere, because it's the best thing I've found up to now. That might represent an outfit well. Because essentially what those buttons do is they load multiple pieces of, like multiple clothing items in multiple slots at the same time. They're like group appliers, right? They like apply lots of items at once. So we can represent that in the icon quite well by having multiple items in the icon, you know? How's this? It's very masculine again, isn't it? I think I can do something with this. So the first thing we need to do is invert it so that it's a white. I'm guessing we can go the other way. Yeah, we can. That's so cool. Which lets us remove the background. And then to make it really white, because it's kind of off, an off color right now. Let me see, how do I do this? Ugh. I just want to make it white, dude. There we go. There. Okay, I'm gonna give it an additional black background for now, just so that I can see what the fuck I'm doing, because it's hard to see through these transparent layers sometimes. So I'm gonna make an additional temporary black background just so I can see what the fuck I'm doing. So what I don't want is the suit. Need to zoom in. Oh wow. Okay, that's the background, that's why. So we get rid of that. Can I have a bigger brush? The t-shirt, because we've got a dress, we wouldn't wear a t-shirt with a dress anywhere. And I mean, sometimes girls will wear jeans with dresses. In that case, then we could have all of this together. I'm not sure about the coat hanger and the sail, though. I think we get rid of this because it's cheap. You know, why are we buying cheap clothes and dress? That almost like cheapens my clothing system, I feel. Yeah, I think now we just find a way to get the bag. Well, our buttons are quite wide anyway, right? So I think we can grab this bag and put it. Wow. Yeah, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Right, we learned that if we save the image and reload it, it ends up like what we're looking at. Otherwise it doesn't. So for now, let's just save this as delete me. Will it let me open that now? Or is it going to say file's already open? No, it did let me open it. Okay, that's good. Now This is making everything super awkward. Now we can grab the bag and put it down here. And I'm just gonna, I think I'm just gonna push these together a little bit. It's leaving behind some garbage there. Okay, so to make sure we get the garbage with this, let me just do that. It just looks more interesting, I think, than everything being so square and straight. Yeah, I think that looks much better. Now it looks like it's actually a clothing set, right? Which is kind of what it is. Now we can go to our icon. So icon outer set. Oh, I gotta admit, that's starting to look pretty good. What the hell? Yeah, I think it's starting to come together. It looks a bit cramped though, honestly. So I'm just gonna scale it. Oh, what did I press? How did I bring the rulers up? Oh, there we go. Control and R as rulers. I must have hit R by mistake. Hello, early bird, says Pika. Hello, Pika. Outer set, right? Yeah, because that's why I put it like that, so it shows up at the top. Yeah, that looks better. It looked a bit cramped before. I think that looks better. Okay, so body, we got a dress that I think works. This one. I'm just worried because it's very long. That one doesn't work at all. It's very long, and so unless we want to lay it on its side again, I don't know. My darling Verisa got her character teaser video today. Why is she my darling? What are you on about? Yeah, well, it's a few days away, isn't it? I barely know her. In fact, I don't know her at all, to be honest. Could that one work better? I also, there's something about the fact that it's on a hanger that I don't know. None of the other clothes are on hangers, so there's something about it being on a hanger that I don't know, disturbs me somewhat. Let's try this one. And also, it doesn't seem quite as long as the other one. Well, somebody was doing like a pre-release fucking, you know, my thoughts on Verisa or whatever the fuck. And I started watching it and I was like, well, the thing is, it was, to be fair, the video was clickbaity, which is why I clicked it. It was like, oh, is this a joke or something like that? Like this character. And I was like, wait, what? Are they saying she's like the worst character in existence or something? So that was the only reason I clicked the video. I was like, well, unless she's the worst character in existence and there's a real justification for it, I'm down to pull for her anyway because there's nobody else I want. I don't even really care about her, to be honest, but I'm due one anyway, so I might as well give it a go. And then when the video started talking about how cool all her animations were and how she's just completely nuts as a character, I was like, okay, if that's what you're getting at, then that just makes me want her even more because I like crazy characters. So I stopped watching it. I didn't watch the whole thing because I was like, well, I'd rather just discover it for myself, to be honest. Yeah, I don't want to watch it. I want to pull for her, and if I get her, I'll try her out, and if I don't, then yeah, whatever. Because I don't really care one way or the other that much. It's just I'm due for one anyway, so I might as well pull for her. But I'd rather just like be surprised when I get her and try her out myself. These fucking things are so hard to like represent in such a small area. Let's try that. I think that might be okay. Teaser video was telling a story about her son, nothing too exciting. Yeah, I'm busy as well, as you can see. I'm just busy. I just want to get on with things. I barely want to play Genshin at this point. The whole thing is just so fucking mismanaged. It's like, wow, okay, you'll get me to log in just to do my pulls to see if I get the character, and I guess if I get the character, I'll stay logged in enough to build her, and that's about it. And maybe I'll check out the new area. But like, I'm just so not really that impressed with Genshin right now. I've explained this before, haven't I? It's just not going in the direction I want to see it going in. Bit of a letdown to me. I don't know, that feels kind of cramped, especially at the top. Let's see if that looks any better. So icon out of body. Out of body. It's an out of body experience. Literally. Oh my god. What about you? Are you hyped? Are you wanting her? Yeah, that seems okay, actually. That looks like a dress. That kind of works. Yeah, Genshin all the gachas are getting a bit boring. I think everyone's getting burned out on them, to be honest. There's been too many. Especially because I messed up my graphical settings for Wooer after I needed to review them the other day. Can you just put them back? Outerwear torso. Okay, this will be outerwear torso inner. Yes, so this is t-shirt. This is tops and t-shirts. I think they just call them strappies, don't they? Or they call shoes strappies as well. That's not what I was going for. Mind you, we're going to need an icon for the shoes anyway, but I'd rather do this in order. I'm thinking we might find something awesome, and I wouldn't think to search strappy for a shoe. Not really seeing anything awesome. I mean, some of these are okay. I'll probably find as good things when it comes to looking for shoes specifically. Okay, we're just going to go... I don't know, the top. Top is so many things though. Yeah, we're getting fucking spinning tops and all sorts of stuff. Fucking hell. Okay, so this kind of thing is probably what we want. This one might be better because it's got thicker straps. By the time we scale this one down, we might not even see the straps, and it might be difficult to figure out what it is. So I think this one works better. I think I'll use this one. So we want to invert it. Use our blending tool. Then for some reason we end up with a very dark white. So we do that as well, don't we? Okay, so our strappy top. Strappy top, strappy top. What is happening right now? Why does it have the background on it? Can I not just copy merged and then get rid of the background? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's just really difficult to understand what that's supposed to be. We'll see what it looks like. It might not look too bad. So we've got torso in, because we have torso inner and outer. Yeah, it seems okay actually. Torso outer would be jackets. That one's kind of cool. Because I want one that looks like a lady's jacket. And that one looks like a lady's jacket. It's kind of interesting as well. I'm worried these lines might not be thick enough though. By the time we scale it right down. And an hour ago, Genshin uploaded a character introduction and character skill showcase. Yeah, like I said, I don't really care. When's she coming out? It's soon, isn't it? I'll just log in when she comes out, pull for her, and that's about it. Like, I'm not that hyped for her. Like, she's not like a must pull for me or anything like that. I'm just like, yeah, I guess I'll pick her up. I'll try and pick her up. Because she's new, basically. And I don't have her. And she looks alright. Like, you know, she looks a little bit different, I guess. Wrestler and stuff. She's okay. But, like, yeah, I don't really give a shit about any of her drip market and all that shit, really. I will try that and see if that's clear what it is. Outer torso out. March 26th is 5.5 is the launch. Yes, it's less than a week then, isn't it? I don't even know what element she is. I haven't a clue. Torso out. You can sort of see it, but this was my fear. See, the other thing we've got. Okay, you see what the problem with this is. So the problem with this is, if we look at all of the other images, we have lots of filled black. Lots of filled black. Like, the items are filled in, right? Filled in bra, knickers, socks, this, garter, filled in clothes, filled in dress, filled in strappy top, and then all of a sudden we have a jacket that is line art rather than filled in art. So there's a difference between like line art and filled in art. And that results in an inconsistency in style, right? There's a stylistic inconsistency there, for one thing. It also makes it difficult to understand what the hell we're looking at. It doesn't really look... So if we're going for a filled in... Right, let's try this again. We can make this a filled in image, but we have to process it differently. So I kind of made a mistake there. Well, I did and I didn't. That's kind of how the thing is. So what we need to do is make a strange noise, for one thing. Right, what we do is we copy the merged and we paste the merged over the top. The reason why is the merged has everything we need in it. Then from the merged, we can pick the filled in bits that we want. So we want that, that, that. All the main bits, basically. That and that. Okay, then what we can do is we can make a new layer. And on that layer, we fill white The background leaked. It leaked the background. It leaked. Genshin leaks. Genshin leaks. No, it's not a Genshin leak. It's a Photoshop leak. So we'll get sued by Adobe instead. Let me just scratch my itchy ear. I know it's gross. It's just itching for some reason. I think it's probably here where the background leaked. Yeah, I think it is. The hood is the issue. Wait, I wasn't on the right layer. No, it's definitely leaking there. Okay, the rest of it seems fine. So the hood is the issue, so we'll have to deal with the hood separately. So we'll pick everything else except for the hood. Then we go to our new layer. Then we go to our fill. Fill who? Philly D. Philly DeFranco, you beautiful bastards. And see how now we have like the filled parts of the jacket, which is much better. It's going to be much easier to see what's going on. But we're missing the hood. So if we go back to the hood. I think the bit we need is this bit. Although that looks okay as well, right? If you think about it. Are we currently selecting the inside or the outside? I think we're selecting the inside. If we're selecting the inside, what we can do is we can go to this layer and we can delete that. Okay, I guess we weren't selecting the inside. Let me just go back then. So if we invert it, now we're selecting the inside. So if we do that, we get our thingy back, but we want our hood. Fuck. Shit. Okay, we want our hood. So we need to duplicate that layer. So we keep the hood. We turn that layer off. Then we delete the fill. We lose the hood. Then we go get back to the layer with the hood. Bear with me. Isolate that layer so we can only see it. Then what we do is we destroy. What am I looking at? I don't even know what that was. I've never seen it before in my life. I'm not that much of a Photoshop enthusiast. And we just kind of want to get rid of everything except for the hood. Right now, when we combine them, there we go. Doesn't it look good? It's a good hood. And if we want to make the hood look thicker, we could add some extra strokes to that. I think that might be okay though. So let's grab that image. We want to copy merged. And we want to stick it in our icon. We put a lot of work into this icon. What the fuck am I looking at? Right. It's very big. It's a very big jacket. For a very big lady. Not like fat or anything, but just very big, like a giant. Like a giant woman. Who lives at the top of a beanstalk and says, "Fee-fi-for fum. I smell Pika's Genshin fun." Or something like that. I think you know what I'm saying. Alright, let's try that and see if that looks better. I think that'll look a lot better actually. Outer torso out. Shake it all about for the outer torso out. Look at that. Doesn't that look so much better? Not only is it stylistically consistent, right? But I think it's easier to see what it is. That looks like a jacket. Because it is a fucking jacket, that's why. Alright, beautiful. So now we've got jackets. Then we've got abdomen. No, yeah, abdomen, which is skirts mostly. Or shorts. So we could try skirts first. Skirt clip art. She's Electra, is she? Oh yeah, I think I do briefly remember that. Maybe I did learn that at some point. This looks too much like a child's skirt. I gotta be honest. I don't think the skirts aren't really distinct enough. I don't know. The skirts aren't blowing my skirt up. The skirts aren't really blowing my skirt up, I'm afraid. I think I might need to look at shorts or something. Yeah, I don't know. There was a couple that were okay. Let's see the shorts. They need to be feminine shorts. I mean, they're okay, but again, we have to think about how we can turn it into the stylistic filled in version that we're looking for. These are even worse than the fucking skirts. And by the way, when I'm saying that, I'm not saying these are terrible images, but there's a very set thing I need to do this right. First of all, the image has to be black and white. Any color is immediately unusable. Like, secondly, stuff like this looks square and like drawn. It wants to look like realistic. Like, that's better, but it's like masculine. Then I've got to find feminine ones, and it's like by the time I tick all the boxes, it needs to be black and white, needs to be feminine, needs to be a certain drawing style, needs to be only black and white. I think I already said that. You know what I mean? It's like I'm left with very few choices, very few usable things. Yeah, I think I will go back to the skirts. I wasn't a massive fan of the skirts, but they would work better than anything that I'm looking at right now. Most of these shots are masculine for a start, and then most of them are coloured for a start. Whereas there was a couple of skirts. I like that one. It just definitely looks like a kid's skirt to me, and it's like, you know. First of all, our character system isn't like, you know, a child character system. Secondly, like if you look at the artwork here in the, you know, clothing items, something that looks like a kid's item just wouldn't fit with the rest of it as well. So I need to find one that I saw that I thought could work, but I'm not finding it now. Yeah, these are pretty bad. This is pretty bad. I didn't think an image of a skirt would be a problem. See, I really like that as a sort of image in and of itself, but trying to make it stylistically fit and render it in the way that it needs to be rendered would be, first of all, a giant pain in the ass. Secondly, by the time we scale it down, I don't think you'd be able to see what it was. Like, it needs to be simple as well, right? Like, too much detail and too many lines and too much going on would make it difficult to use. This might work, but the problem with this is I don't know if it actually looks like a skirt. Like, again, by the time we scale it down and we black and white it, stylize it, does it even look like a skirt anymore at that point? Is it clear what it's supposed to be? Because also, I think, for me, like, because again, we're telegraphing what is this thing supposed to represent, right? So for me, like, the top priority is to telegraph clearly what this is supposed to be. That's like the golden rule. But then it also has to fit in stylistically, and it also has to be simple enough to be shrunk right down, and, you know, on and on we go. Yeah, I mean, this is a beautiful image, but like, we wouldn't be able to use it because we're only allowed one color, one shape. We need to sort of convey what we need with shapes alone, which is why this is kind of tricky. I think the more suitable one was actually alongside something else in the image. Where was it? But then I wasn't sure. Yeah, this one, but I wasn't sure whether it actually would look like a skirt. This could work. I just wish it had some more, like, I don't know, some kind of like bow or something, some kind of extra belt layer or something that made it clearer what it was. Because when I look at that on its own and I don't have any context, I'm not sure that it makes me think of a skirt. It looks more like, I don't know. I think the issue with it as well is the pleats go too far up, right? So it just looks like a bunch of rectangles next to each other, essentially. God damn, I had no idea that a picture of a skirt would be such a problem for this icon, but it kind of is. See, this one might be better because it's like the bow makes it look more like a skirt because it's obvious now that it's a piece of clothing. Do you see what I'm saying? This one's really good, actually. I might use this one. Yeah! Alright, see ya! Let's see if we can use this. Okay, so we need the filled in effect again, where we only get the filled in parts of the image. It's like one color and one color only. So we remove the background with a magic wand. And then I guess if we use blending to just replace black with transparent, and then we sort of blend those darker layers in, then we kind of get the effect that we're going for, right? We need to copy merge to the... Okay, this is actually looking pretty good. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. It's clear what it is. And I don't normally make them square like this, but I think for this one I might actually just leave it square as well rather than rotate it at an angle. Let's see what it looks like. I think that's going to be great, actually. So this one is abdomen, outer abdomen. So we called it abs or ab, didn't we, on the other one? Abs. Does it look like a skirt? It mostly does, but I think the issue is that it's a bit cramped. And does it look good square like that, or does it need rotating to line up with the rest of them? I think that one looks okay square, actually. I suppose it's like the outer equivalent of the panties, right? Okay, so I will rotate it a little bit then, so that it goes in the opposite direction of the panties. Because it's gonna have like a mirror, like a symmetry, you know, like an opposition, a contrasting symmetry to it. Oh yeah. No, I think that's cool. I mean, is it clear that it's a skirt? Not as much as I would like it to be. I think the problem is it's got too much... It's got too much anti-aliasing. What I want to do with this one, which I think would make it look a lot better, you see how like the lines just aren't very clear on it, or very thick. I'm on the wrong thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. And I kind of just want to... You know, like... Get rid of some of that fucking anti-aliasing, which is just blurring everything. And I'm just destroying those lines. Now it looks like it's got a chunk taken out of it. Let's put that back. Why did it alias so badly though? This one aliased real bad, didn't it? Can we like process that better? You can make like a black and white image, I think. I can do grayscale. It's just gonna have the same grey aliasing in it. I take it doesn't look like that in this version. No, it looks nice in this version. Alias to fuck. What you can do is I think you can put a filter on it where it's like find edges or something. Or like sharpen edges or whatever. Sharpen edges. Let's see if that makes it look better. Yeah, it's that's made it a little bit better, but this like bow area still really bad. Why aren't you letting me delete it? There we go. I just really like this image and it's kind of fucking it up. I thought there's a lot I can do with it. We want the mid-tones black. What the fuck is happening? Oh, I'm on the wrong fucking layer, that's why. I was wondering what the fuck was happening. There we go. This is going to look a lot better. Yeah, baby. This is going to be the one. This is going to be it. The only thing is now, though... but look, I know what to do. Yeah, now it's made the lines black, but we can make them invisible again by going up here, right? Because we don't want to make them black. We want to make them part of the invisible lines. Yeah, okay, I think this is going to look a lot better. Oh, hell yeah. That anti-aliasing was fucking horrendous. Okay, this is going to look a lot better. Just get rid of that layer now. That looks so much better. Still a little bit bad. It was better than it was, especially the boar. Well, let's see what that looks like first before we start messing with that. Wait, we've got the black background on. Wait, it might not have loaded yet. I can't notice the difference. I literally don't notice the difference. It doesn't look any different. No, I went through all that effort and it doesn't look any different. Did that really... Let me make sure that updated. I don't feel like that updated. Sometimes Unity takes a little while to update it, but you can re-import. It literally doesn't look any different. You son of a penis. What if we then go to filter, sharpen edges? It's just a fucking mess, isn't it? Did make a bit of a mess of this. Alright, I think that's as good as it gets, honestly. I left the black on. I think that's as good as it gets. I wish it was better. It's probably fine, but I don't know. It's weird, right? Like when I'm looking at it here, it really looks like a skirt and I'm happy with it. But then as soon as it ends up on the icon, sometimes this happens. I don't know. It's just not clear to me that that's a skirt. I think the reason why is you can't really... Like you can see the bow better on this one. But then by the time you scale it down that much, the bow gets lost. Like I can't see the bow anymore. And I think the bow is what makes it clear that it's a skirt. That could be anything from a fucking tooth to a, I don't know, fucking alien turd to God knows what. Whatever. Look, I tried. Nobody can say I didn't try. Right. What hands? What hands? Outerwear hands. Gloves. That would be gloves. 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 We've got 2 more to do. Once we've done these, I need a break. God, I need a break. Okay, ladies' gloves. We want feminine gloves, right? We don't want fucking sausage finger gloves. We don't want fucking wank gloves or dispose of the dead body gloves either. No, we want, like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Elegant, that's the one. We want elegant lady gloves. This is what we want, okay? Is that so much to ask for? These aren't elegant lady gloves. What the fuck? Okay, we don't want fucking porn gloves. Jesus. Why is it so hard to find ladies' gloves? There is mittens. There's always mittens as well. Why do they all have sausage fingers? These are terrible. These are like even worse than the skirts. These are absolutely dreadful. No wonder AI struggles to draw hands and fingers. This is a shit show. That's what this is. This is the ultimate shit show. Fucking boxing gloves. Oh yes, lady. I'm gonna dress you in these designer boxing gloves. Yes, you're gonna look fabulous, young lady. But it's childlike. This is what I don't like. I don't like the childlike connotation. Yeah, that just ruins the very, like, look at our icons, right? They're all very mature, very stylish. You don't want a pair of fucking kids' mittens mixed in. It's just gonna throw it. It's gonna look out of place. And I also don't like the connotation. This is dreadful. You can't do this to me. You can't do, not when this close. No, mittens isn't going to do it. It's too. No, it's just not. It's just too. Ladies' gloves. Oh, here we go. Yes, this is more like what we're looking for. I mean, it's. Ladies' gloves. Ladies' gloves. Fucking hell. Not Freddy Krueger. I don't want Freddy Krueger. And how many ladies do you know with sausage fingers? Like, who has fucking fingers shaped like this? Like a cock? Fucking cock fingers? What the hell? If you got fingers that look like that, you need to go to a... What is it that does... Who's the hand doctor? I don't know what they call it. I think a chiropodist is a foot doctor, so there's got to be a hand doctor if there's a chiropodist. Is a chiropodist a foot doctor? Chiropodist. I'm probably spelling it wrong. I'm spelling it way wrong. Yeah, I knew chiropodist was a foot doctor. Fucking Google, man. Why you just fucking dox my ass, you cunt? I fucking hate Google. Fucking wank stands. Fucking wank stands they are. All right, here's the thing, right? I know I'm such a fussy ass little bitch, but I like these when I saw these because we're like, yes, this is what we're looking for, ladies' gloves, and they are black and white, and they're everything I've been asking for. But I almost look at them and I almost think they're a little too basic, you know? They look too much like some 6-year-old kid drew them in art class or something, you know? And it's like, well, fucking hell, what do you want, right? It's like, you wanted this, you want that, and then you find it, and then it's not good enough. It looks too basic. But then it's like, by the time we shrink it down to like 6 pixels by 6 pixels, like, basic is probably good, right? Because like we're trying to convey something here, right? This is like a telegraphing thing that we're doing. So I need to stop being a little bitch, basically. I think these will be better if we separate them, though. Oh, you know what? Just get it done. I seriously need a break soon anyway. Let's just get it done. There we go. It's stylized. There we go. It's white. There we go. It's copied. There we go. It's in the icon. Oh. That's not how you say oh. You have to cut it off. You have to have like a You can't go oh. Isn't that weird how you can't do oh to represent This is where like AI voice acting is gonna struggle, right? Once all the voice actors are AI, and you type and the AI is just gonna be like oh, and it's like, no, you fucking idiot. And then you know what's gonna happen. You know how like, so now people are speaking like internet memes, right? It's like now people say like LOL and like, you know. I'm trying to think of some of the ones. I don't know, people start saying things like internet and text speak, right? And they started talking like that in the real world now. Well, when AI does all the voice acting and everything is like, oh, which is the AI's best attempt at and then people are going to start saying oh and mimicking the AI because they don't realize that it's just because the AI is retarded and it can't do properly. I think that's actually what there was a word. What's the word? I think okay originated like that because I'm interested in the etymology of words, right? And so I looked up like where does okay come from? Because okay is an abbreviation of all right, and all right doesn't have the letter O or K in it. So I'm like, so where the fuck did OK come from? Why is the letter O and K representing all right? It doesn't make any sense. And I think apparently it comes from some American TV show fucking years ago where it was like on it was like some comedy sketch or something. That's what I read anyway. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, some dickhead on a show abbreviated all right to okay, and then it just caught on and everybody started saying okay. And I'm like, God help us all. God freaking help us all. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if AI starts mispronouncing words. Well, it starts, it already does. You know when AI mispronounces words, and it's because studios are now using AI to do their voice acting for them. And then people get used to hearing it that way, and then everybody's saying it wrong. Happens all the time. This is sad. I don't know. It's just sad. It's a little bit sad. All right, we've got hands. I thought they said wheat. Are you wearing your ear of corn, darling? Are you wearing your Weet-Bix today? Those look rather dashing on you, darling. When you wear your pair of Weetabix. It really gets me going, it does. This, I think I need a break, honestly. I think it's for everybody's benefit at this point. I was worried you couldn't tell they were gloves, but when you get a little bit, when you get the bigger view, yeah, they do look, you can tell they're gloves. Yeah, this is looking pretty decent. We've only got one left. Feet, outerwear feet, you know what those are. Those are also known as shoes. Maybe I search for heels, because heels will give me, yeah, the more ladylike variety. A variety. A variety. Oh, we've got so many choices. It's weird, isn't it? Right? I remember like learning that, like, you know, girls and women, well, women hopefully, not girls, but you know, wore these heels, these big tall heels, and I thought it was the dumbest fucking thing ever. I was like, why the fuck would you wear those? And like, what is the point? It's just the stupidest thing I'd ever heard of. Now I understand why they do it, but I just thought it was the stupidest thing ever. I was like, oh my god, that's women are so stupid. Why would you walk around in those? It just doesn't make any sense at all. And then now in my adulthood, I don't know, there's something a little bit sexy about seeing like a lot of heels like that. I don't know. It's like, it's a little bit sexy, that. But maybe it's because I know the association between why they wear them in the first place. I don't know. Anyway. I don't know, but it's just weird because I do remember like learning about these as a kid and just thinking it was the most ridiculous thing ever, and I was just like, oh, that's so stupid. Yeah, and now I kind of have a, maybe I have a different perspective. I would even go as far as to say there's something a little bit sexy about just seeing heels. I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? I suppose you start to like associate things, and I don't know, which as a kid you would, you know, you wouldn't. As a sweet summer child, I had no idea. Almost looks like a telephone. Yeah, I want it to be clear what it is, so I don't want one that looks too much like a telephone. I want it to be clear that it's a shoe. I don't know about these. We'll keep looking. We'll keep looking. Again, we're trying to convey, you know, a clothing category, so it needs to be as clear can be. I mean, that, what, who the fuck has a foot like that? It's basically a fucking bent hot dog on a pole. Hot dog feed, won't you let me nibble on your hot dog feed? Hot dog feed, won't you walk all over me with those hot dog feet? Oh, sorry, I forgot you were there. Hello, welcome to the stream. I wasn't being weird. I was just looking for high heels while singing songs about hot dog feet walking all over me. It's a perfectly normal thing to do, I'll have you know. Ask any game developer and they'll confirm it. Okay, that's cool because it like includes a bit of like the feet in them as well. And it's more square as well if you think about it. I don't know. I kind of like this. It does a good job of communicating. And what I also like is that it's like a pair of feet in a pair of shoes, right? And they come in pairs. I don't know, like I just like the gloves were in pairs, right? We got the pair of gloves. We didn't look at use a single glove. Hot dog feed, won't you let me nibble on those hot dog feed? Hot dog feed, won't you smother them in ketchup? Hot dog feed, there's another hot dog foot. Hot dog feed, that girl, she has those hot dog feet. Hot dog feed, don't you want to nibble on those feet? I think this is our best option, to be honest. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. My hit single Hot Dog Feet will be released 6 weeks from now. You can get it on iTunes and Spotify. Hot dog feet, won't you let me nibble on those hot dog feet? Hot dog feet, hot dog. I'm gonna be singing it all day now. And people are gonna think I'm fucking weird. They'll be like, what the fuck are you singing? What is wrong with you? Why haven't you been locked up yet? Hot dog feet, hot dog feet. Look how blue those hot dog feet are. Alright, not anymore. We'll whiten those. We will whiten them. It's almost like that Jeepers Creepers song. You're like, Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Hot dog feed, won't you let me nibble on those hot dog feet? Could be in a horror film or something, you know. That could be like the Freddy Krueger type characters, like little song that he sings, you know. So you know, like Freddy Krueger was like, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Well, my demonic, evil sort of thing could just, you could know that he's close by when you hear the song in the background. Hot dog feet. You need to add an echo to it as well, like a ghostly echo to it, and it would be like, hot dog feet, won't you let me nibble on this hot dog feet? Get like a creepy little girl singing it while she's pushing the wheelchair. It's always the same thing, isn't it? It's like you want the green filters and the smoke and then dark shadows, and you want a big long hospital corridor and a little girl pushing a wheelchair, and there'll be something in the wheelchair but you can't see it. You can just see the shadow of something sat in the wheelchair, and then the little girl's singing, hot dog feet, won't you let me nibble on the hot dog feet? It's all creepy. And they go, oh no, he's gonna get me, I really need to take a break before, because literally I think the white coats, the men in white coats are going to be coming for me soon. Outer feet. Outer feet. Still looks like wheat. It's because it's W, because it's OW for outerwear. Feet next to it. So every time I look at that, I see wheat. I've completely forgotten what we called it. Outer feet. There we go. Oh, look at that. I'm quite happy with that. Took us fucking hours. We're at like 3 hours and 40 minutes. But look at that. Doesn't that look alright? I think it looks alright. And I think it's reasonably clear what things are, right? As much as it can be. So obviously we got hair, we got underwear sets, underwear body pieces, bras, panties, socks, accessories, like kind of like lingerie accessories, I guess you could call these, garter belts and such. Outerwear sets such as like complete outfits, right? Which might include like a dress and a, well, I suppose you wouldn't wear a skirt with a dress, would you? Like it could be anything. It could be like a top and a skirt with a jacket and some gloves and all kinds of other shite. And this will just load them all at once. Then we've got tops, coats, skirts, gloves, and shoes. And then accessories is obviously going to be in this drop down, so we change it to accessories to then add accessories where we want. So I think that is my cue to go take a break now. I need to get some food, make a little nibble. I might have some hot dogs. But if I have hot dogs, then I'm definitely gonna be singing that song all day. Hot dog feet. I like that song actually. It's quite a good song. I've definitely lost my mind 100%. There's no doubt about it. All right, I will take a break and maybe track on with this. But yeah, like, I don't know if you are getting anything out of this to learn for doing anything like this yourself, and you're like a little bit lost and confused right now, thinking, why am I watching this fucking lunatic singing songs about fucking hot dog feet anyway? Is it really worth it? Well, thank you for bearing with me. I'll just kind of give you an overview of what's next that might not be streamed. So obviously we divided our categories up. So essentially each one of these like kind of represents a clothing slot, except for the sets and except for the hair. So the hair links to the shaping system, to be completely honest, but I feel like it should be part of the dress up system, right? Because, you know, you might want to change hairstyle or color. That's why it's there. But it's also going to be in the shaping system. So aside from the hair and aside from the sets, every other one of these basically is a clothing slot, right? But also the body slots, like this one and this one, they actually affect multiple slots, right? Like torso and abdomen, because you wouldn't wear this with either of these, and you wouldn't wear this with either of, well, either of these, right? Because the coat's an outer layer of the abdomen. So we've organized it now so things make sense, both for the player and as me as a developer, and we can, our clothing items can be grouped together and they know which slots they belong to, and the player can have a choice between what slots. So now we need to come up with some kind of control system that says, okay, pick between the items. So we load all the items that are match, you know, panties or whatever, and then you can pick the panties, and then we could have like color options as well. So if we find, let's find something to demonstrate. Do we have like a dress or something? So I don't look like a complete perv. Yeah, this dress has, so this is the one we're looking at, right? This dress has 6 materials. So what we'd want to do as well is link these 6 materials like we did on the hair, so that you can apply colors to them. So if you wanted to make this bit here in the middle, this triangle that's lighting up, a separate color from the rest of it, you'll have the ability to do that. When all that's set up, which is way in the future, it's going to take me ages, but when all that's set up, then we need to make sure that all of the controls, we've done this on the hair system, on the shaping system already, all of the controls have a value out class, which is, we're going to iterate through each control, gather all that value out data, stick it in a JSON file, and then write that to a file, which will be a character preset file. And then from that character preset file, our system can load those preset files and say, okay, yep, these are your hair shapes, these are your character shapes, these are the clothing items, the hair items, the accessories, and all the rest of it, and just like, you know, load obviously a save state for the whole thing. So yeah, we've got lots to do, but I'm reasonably happy with that. With that interface, I think, with the buttons and things, and the drop down I think makes sense to switch contexts. So yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. All right, I'll leave it there, take a break, and I'll be back on when I'm back on. I'll probably be back on with some Monster Hunter tonight at the very least. I might even be back on with more of this, we'll see. Take care of those hot dog feet. Bye for now.